All right, so we got some unfortunate news coming out of Virginia. My brother, Tyler Chase Butler, has been charged with first degree of unaliving somebody. But the story goes deeper than that. I'm going to play the audio. I want to come back with my thoughts, fair use. But, this is the trigger alert. Viewer discretion is advised.
The first time since he was arrested for second-degree murder, malicious wounding, and firearms charges, Tyler Chase Butler faced a judge this morning. The 27-year-old is ordered to stay in jail without bond after he was accused of shooting and killing 18-year-old Massaponic High senior Michael Bosworth. The sheriff's office says Butler fired shots at Bosworth and two other teenagers because he thought they were breaking into his house along Mackenzie Lane in Fredericksburg. It happened around 3 a.m. Saturday. Here's neighbor Maria Sedlak.
I just woke up and all the house was flashing with blue lights.
Court documents reveal a much different story. They say the two other teens who survived claimed they were playing the Ding Dong Ditch Challenge. It's a TikTok prank where kids try to kick a stranger's front door and run away. According to the detective, he and his friends had hit a couple of doors in the neighborhood. The juvenile is not familiar with the neighborhood that they were in. The juvenile said as they were running from a residence, he and his friends were shot at.
Did they kick on your door, do you know?
Not on ours.
But you know down
other
here.
neighbors, yes.
The case has sparked a big debate in the Spotsylvania community.
I just feel like it was very unfortunate all the way around. I feel sorry for the parents, but I also feel sorry for my neighbors. If someone came, kicking on my door, like front door, back door, wherever door, we will have been protecting our house too.
Bosworth's family didn't want to go on camera, but his stepfather tells WSA 9 he was a kid who loved to play lacrosse. He was getting ready to graduate with aspirations of joining the U.S. Marine Corps.
Butler now has a preliminary hearing scheduled in June. He was assigned a public defender this morning. Meantime, friends of Michael Bosworth held a vigil for him last night with the message, justice for Mikey.
So you telling me that somebody can kick on this brother's door around 3 in the morning on a Saturday? I don't know if he has a family in there, but I'm going to assume so. Somebody else in the house with him. Even if he's in there by himself. You telling me somebody can kick on his door at 3 something in the morning trying to play a game? The man takes up a firearm and tries to defend his house and his family, his name, and his life. And he's charged with a first degree unaliving somebody. But George Zimmerman, I'm finna go there. George Zimmerman, he can go around Trayvon Martin and follow him and delete that young man. But not only does he get found innocent, but then he has the nerve to go up there and sell Skittles and his firearm and everything else. And have you noticed that if the roles are reversed, let me just say this. If the roles are reversed and it was some people that look like me and a lot of y'all kicking somebody who looked like their doors, you don't think they would have grabbed a firearm and used it? And what you think the media would have did? They would have immediately came out and tried to say all the terrible things how that kid was, allegedly. I seen with the news with this one, they tried to talk about, he was a football player and he wanted to go to Marine Corps. But I guarantee you, if it was a black kid doing that, he would have been left out. They would have left all that part out. And then the people would have got completely off. Oh, well, you shouldn't have pranked and he had to defend his home in America. We should be able to have firearms and all of that. Okay, well, it should be the same way. And I understand kids, man, I've done certain stupid things when I was a kid. A lot of y'all have too. But we talking about you kicking on somebody's door at 3 in the morning. People sleep. You know what I mean? Different home invasions and stuff it is. Y'all show the news. The corporate media shows home invasions or they put somebody, it's been a mass shooting or somebody that been kidnapped every day on the news. It don't matter what station it is. So, okay, if I'm laying in the bed at 3 in the morning and I'm hearing somebody kicking on the door, it's clearly not the police, and ain't no announcements, and all you hear is people kicking on the door. I'm going to jail for using my firearm to defend myself because I think somebody about to take my life? Or is it because I look the way I do and they look the way they do? Listen, I will say this because I got a son around his age. Rest in peace. I've had friends that passed away over doing things similar to that, and I know other people's kids, a couple people kids who passed away doing similar things. When you're a young kid, you do dumb stuff, and it is a tragedy around everybody that's involved. But at the same time, why is this man really being charged with anything? He's defending his home. half you guys said when Trayvon Martin got killed, everybody said, "Oh man, no, stand your ground, man. It's stand your ground. We have to protect ourselves against people like you." You know, the same thing with Carmelo Anthony. The man defends himself, calls the police, and they charge him. Well, I figured he'd get charged with something because he had a knife on him. But let he been somebody that didn't look like him, he wouldn't have been charged that. And then the media, they failed to say that he's a straight A student. They failed to say that he was a good kid in his community and that he didn't come from a quote unquote bad background. And then you want to show him showing what appeared to be a weapon. But if it was somebody that didn't look like him, you would talk about how much of an American he is and how we should have the right to bear arms, man. So just get out of it, man. It is what it is. I hope that I will say that I hope all the families involved do some healing. But in my personal opinion, this brother should not be charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder when you defending your home, man. Because like I said, let the roles be reversed. The media would have a totally different story. Prosecutors, everybody else you can think of. But this is also why we need to start voting more and not just voting for one party. And we need to start coming together. And that way we can be police chiefs and judges and lawyers and prosecutors and everybody else you can think of, because we sit here and we cry that there's no equality, but then you don't really see brothers inspiring to be any of the people that I just named, police officers, anything. You know, those things are looked down upon in our community, but in their community, that's the cream of the crop. And ours is about rap music and how many kids you can have out of wedlock and the sports and things like that. But meanwhile, they're out here controlling the law. So, you know, we need to take this as a lesson, man. We need more people in our community that's in positions of power. But I just want to get my quick thoughts about it. How do y'all feel? Do y'all think he was right or wrong? Let me know in the comments below.